San Antonio Water System Standard Specifications for Construction. Item No. 836. Gray iron and ductile iron fittings. 836.1 Description: this item shall consist of gray iron and ductile iron fittings installation and adjustment installed in accordance with these specifications and as directed by the engineer. 836.2 Reference Standards. Reference standards cited in this specification. Item No. 836 refer to the current reference standard published at the time of the latest revision date. 1. San Antonio Water System, SAWS. A. Specifications for water and sanitary sewer construction. B. SAWS Materials Specifications. 2. City of San Antonio, COSA, Standard Specifications for Construction. 3. Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, TCEQ, Chapter 290 Public Water Supply. 4. American Society for Testing and Materials, ASTM, International. ASTM D1248, Standard Specification Polyethylene Plastics Molding and Extrusion Materials for Wire and Cable. BASTM F477, Elastomeric Seals, Gaskets, for joining plastic pipe. CASTM G62, Standard Test Methods for Holiday Detection in Pipeline Coatings. 5. American National Standard Institute, ANSI. ANSI A21.4, AWWAC 104, Standard for Cement Mortar Lining for Ductile Iron Pipe and Fittings, for Water. B. ANSI A21.10, AWWAC 110, Standard for Ductile Iron and Gray Iron Fittings, 3 inches through 48 inches. C. ANSI A21.11, AWWAC 111, Standard for Rubber Gasket Joints for Ductile Iron Pressure Pipe and Fittings. D. ANSI A21.15, AWWAC 115, Standard for Flanged Ductile Iron Pipe with Ductile Iron or Gray Iron Threaded Flanges. E. ANSI A21.16, AWWAC 116, Protective Fusion Bonded Epoxy Coating for the Interior and Exterior Surfaces of Ductile Iron and Gray Iron Fittings for Water Supply Service. F. ANSI A21.50, AWWAC 150, Standard for Thickness Design of Ductile Iron Pipe. G. ANSI A21.51, AWWAC 151, Standard for Ductile Iron Pipe, Centrifugally Cast, for Water and Other Liquids. H. ANSI A21.53, AWWAC 153, Standard for Ductile Iron Compact Fittings, 3 inches through 24 inches and 54 inches through 64 inches for water service. IANSI/AWSD 11.2 Guide for Welding Iron Castings. 6. American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME. AASME B 16.1, Cast Iron Pipe Flanges and Flanged Fittings. 7. American Water Works Association, AWWA. AAWWAC 105, Polyethylene Encasement for Ductile Iron Pipe Systems. BAWWAC 300, Standard for Pressed Rest Concrete Pressure Pipe, Steel Cylinder Type, for Water and Other Liquids. CAWWAC 600, Standard for Installation of Ductile Iron Water Mains and their appurtenances. 8. American Water Works Association, AWWA. ASSPCSP 6, Steel Structures Painting Council, Commercial Blast Cleaning. 836.3 Submittals. Contractor shall submit manufacturer's product data, instructions, recommendations, shop drawings, and necessary certifications. 1. For pipe 16 inches and greater, submit shop drawings signed and sealed by professional engineer registered in state of Texas showing the following. A. Manufacturer's pipe design calculations. B. Provide lay schedule of pictorial nature indicating alignment and grade, laying dimensions, fitting, flange, and special details, with plan view of each pipe segment sketched, detailing pipe invert elevations, horizontal bends, restraint joints, and other critical features. C. Indicate station numbers for pipe and fittings corresponding to drawings. Do not start production of pipe and fittings prior to review and approval by engineer. D. Calculations and limits of thrust restraint shall be based on AWWA M41 or diaper thrust restraint for ductile iron pipe, latest edition. E. Class and length of joint. F. Submit manufacturer's certifications that ductile iron pipe and fittings meet provisions of this section and have been hydrostatically tested at factory and meet requirements of ANSI A21.51. G. Submit certifications that pipe joints have been tested and meet requirements of ANSI A21.11. H. Submit affidavit of compliance in accordance with ANSI A21.16 for fittings with fusion bonded epoxy coatings or linings. 836.4 Materials. The materials for gray iron and ductile iron fittings installation shall conform to the latest provisions of American National Standard for Ductile Iron, ANSI/American Water Works Association, AWWA, C153/A21.53, compact fittings 3-inch through 64-inch and ANSI/AWWA C110/A21.10, full body fittings 3-inch through 48-inch for water service or most applicable approved equal provisions, and the specifications contained within the latest revision of SAWS material specification. Item No. 10-10, Gray iron and ductile iron fittings. 836.5 Construction. All fittings shall be either restrained mechanical joint compact or flange joint, unless otherwise specified in the contract documents. All mechanical joint compact fittings shall be installed using approved restraining glands in accordance with SAWS material specification. Item No. 113-02, Ductile iron restrained joint fittings for use on ductile iron. 1. No separate payment will be made for these restraining glands. 2. Approved adapters shall be used where necessary to provide a transition between pipes and/or fittings of differing outside diameters. 3. Thrust blocking shall only be utilized, in addition to restraining glands, if specified in the contract documents, when tying into existing non-restrained pipe, or when approved by the inspector. 4. Anti-corrosion protection consisting of polyethylene sleeve and asphaltic material for ferrous surfaces shall be applied to exterior surfaces of all fittings installed. Anti-corrosion embedment shall be provided as specified in specification. Item number 804, Excavation, Trenching and Backfill. 836.6 Measurement. Ductile iron and gray iron fittings will be measured by their weight as listed in Table 836-1 of the specification of the various sizes of fittings installed. 836.7 Payment. Payment for gray iron and ductile iron fittings shall be for mechanical joint compact fittings, AWWA, C153/A21.53 and/or flanged fittings. 1 Payment will be made at the unit price bid for each ton of fittings to the nearest 1/100th of a ton of fittings installed. 2 Individual fitting weights used for payment calculations will be the weights of fittings listed in Table 836-1 of this specification. 3 Weights of glands, bolts, nuts, gaskets, all types, are considered subsidiary to the fittings and no separate payment will be made for their weight. 4 Payment for fitting weights listed in Table 836-1 shall be full compensation for excavation, installation, anti-corrosion protection, select anti-corrosion embedment material and installation, hauling and disposition of surplus excavated materials, all glands, bolts, nuts, rubbers, and flange gaskets of whatever type required, and concrete thrust/reaction blocking, if required. 5 If fittings other than those listed in Table 836-1 are approved and installed, the contractor shall provide quantities and manufacturer's unit weights exclusive of glands, bolts, and rubbers with pay request. 6 Materials paid on site will be in accordance with Table 1 of specification. Item number 100 Mobilization.